Begin this morning with support that's growing to bring drag strip racing back to Long Island. TV 1055's Carolyn Gussoff explains.
The need for speed, more popular than ever across the country, but for motorsports on Long Island, drag racers have to take the show on the road.
Most of them just leave Long Island to go racing. They go to New Jersey, they go to Pennsylvania. We go everywhere else except for Long Island to race, unfortunately.
It's why hundreds packed into the Suffolk legislature to cheer the creation of a committee to study the feasibility and scout a location for a privately run drag strip.
There's no reason why I should be going to North Carolina to see a race or going to New Jersey. We need revenue in this county, and this is just the thing we need.
Long Island once had 4 drag strips, which long ago got sold off to developers. But enthusiasts, thousands on Facebook, say with the car culture comeback, they need a place to race. A drag strip would spur a cottage industry of automotive companies like this one and offer a legal outlet for kids, who now turn to dangerous street racing.
You'd hear tire screeching, and that's a residential area. There's houses all along the road. It's dangerous.
You can race your mother's car, you can race your grandmother's minivan, you can race whatever you want to race. You don't have to be a professional racer. You're on a safe course, and you're in a restricted area.
There's no organized opposition yet because no site's been named. A quarter-mile strip needs 100 acres. This location in Yaphank got nixed. Supporters say the noise issue isn't a dead end.
There's now sound abatements. There's designs. We could dig it down and put it 20 feet under the ground. We can put sound barriers.
Carolyn Gussoff, TV 1055.
And joining us now, the founder of Long Island Needs a Drag Strip, John Cazali, and his top assistant with the group, John Consoli. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. And we were saying that you guys have to be in the same sport. You have such similar last names.
Yes.
People are mixing you up all the time. So now we have a committee. What happens now?
Well, the committee is formed so that we can help find land for us to get a drag strip and a motorsports park back on Long Island.
Is there interest in this from people? Because you'd have to put up some money. And what kind of money are we talking about here?
Well, the money's going to be put up by the developers that are going to purchase the racetrack and the land. That's their end of the bargain. We're just finding the spot so everyone will have a legal and safe spot to race.
So you've spoken to the investors?
Yes.
How much money are we talking about have to be put into this?
Well, it's a few million. It's in the millions, depending upon what the land is going to go for and what property we have.
But John Consoli, would people be interested in it? If someone's going to put up $2 million to buy land and put a drag strip, they got to be pretty sure that folks are going to come and pay admission fees.
Absolutely.
What kind of interest is there?
The interest has been phenomenal. Our Facebook page has 14,000 members on it, and that's just Facebook. That's not including the people that aren't on social media, people on our websites as well. But we've done car shows, we've done meets where just the amount of support, young, old, all different age groups have come up to us and say, this is what we need, and it makes sense. It really
14,000 members, those from around the country or just here?
Just here on Long Island.
Long Island.
Really? There's that many people interested in this? Because there's a history of drag strip racing on Long Island. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, we had Islip Speedway had an 8th mile drag strip, and that closed. We had National Speedway, which was a quarter-mile racetrack in Santa Mauritius. That closed. We had the first quarter-mile drag strip built on the whole East Coast, which was West Hampton Dragway. That closed.
Well, we are talking about drag strip racing.
Yes.
Are you talking about cars that have parachutes in the back with them? Is that what you're talking about putting there, John?
Pretty much. A little bit of everything.
You have a car like that? Or?
I have a 2010 Camaro. John, actually, his car has the parachute on the back.
A parachute, really?
You know, if we have a facility on Long Island, really, it's going to be open to everybody. So people that just enjoy the hobby, street legal cars right off from the dealership, more, you know, NHRA performance cars. It's going to be open to everybody. Really, the most important thing is having a safe, legal environment for people to go and enjoy their hobby.
So you're not just talking about a hobby, though. You're talking about a professional strip here that could bring in some of the top talent in this field, I'll bet.
Yes, it'll bring in a lot of the top talent.
Because this goes on around the country in other places.
Yes. We have a lot of top talent on Long Island that leave Long Island because there is no place for them to race.
Well, we definitely know that it happens. You know, we saw some video of illegal street racing in Queens, and then just a couple of days ago, weren't some people arrested for this? What have you heard about that?
Well, tickets were given out in Medford, but it's a street racing, and that's what we're trying to curtail.
Because this goes on all the time, no matter what, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what problems would it solve in your mind, and why do you think that you feel you have a right to this? Because some people will say, well, that's a bit of an extreme hobby. We don't have to make room for that.
I think the number one thing right now is just safety. You know, right now the reason why there is street racing going on is because people don't have a place to go and enjoy it at a track. So a lot of times you'll hear, like in the news, people get arrested for street racing. There's illegal activity going on. Most importantly, people are getting killed. And that's really what we're trying to avoid right now. So,
I remember doing a story where a vehicle went into somebody's house.
Right. Yeah. It's very unsafe right now. You know, you can see videos online of people just lining up, and there's spectators down the side of the road, and they're very close to where these cars are going, well over 100 miles an hour.
So,
trying to avoid that.
Yeah, that would definitely take care of that.
Yeah.
Some people would probably still do it anyway, I'm sure. How much land do you need?
We're looking at 100+ acres.
Well, now, some people are going to say, look, this is just too crazy, you know, especially on Long Island, in the east end of Long Island, which is where I would think you'd probably be looking at it. They're going to say the noise, the fumes. How are you going to handle that?
Well, with sound abatement nowadays, the noise would be very minimal. The fumes, there really aren't that many fumes because everything is pretty much taken care of. There's very little exhaust that you would smell, like people burning diesel or whatever.
Unless you live right across from it.
Well, we're looking for a spot that there's no neighbors around, which is an open area.
So let's talk about that. Where are you looking?
Suffolk County?
Yeah, Suffolk County, wherever we can fit it, honestly. You know, the whole purpose of Long Island Needs a Drag Strip is anywhere on Long Island that can house it. You know, to have a big enough piece of property where it's safe enough and away from those people that may have an issue with the sound or the fumes or anything like that. But there's ways to contend with that.
So now you've gotten a fairly positive response from some elected officials who at least agreed to come out and study this issue. That might be considered an improvement. How do you see it? Do you think they're serious, or?
Yes, the officials that we have standing behind us are Congressman Lee Zeldin, Assemblyman Dean Murray, who's been doing a bang-up job supporting us, both of them 150%. We have Suffolk County legislators now that are forming a task force committee to help us look for land, which some of our members, myself and John, will be on this committee to get this thing rolling.
But you wouldn't be operating the private business.
No.
It's investors that you have been in touch with.
Right.
So that, there's interest out there, no question about that. So what kind of folks are into this kind of field?
You have people from 16 to 90 that are still racing. In fact, if you go junior dragsters, you can start racing at 6 years old, a junior dragster. So it's a very family-orientated sport and safe sport. So
people would have to pay admission to come into this if they were part of the drag strip. What do you imagine, at an arena or something where there'd be at least a couple of thousand people being able to watch?
Well, it'd be a motorsports park where, along with the drag strip, you would have stands on both sides, bleachers. Like you have on a high school track meet. There's bleachers on both sides, and we race down the middle of it.
What would be a typical admission fee, do you think?
I don't even know, to be honest with you. I mean, look, once we start having that conversation, that's a good problem we're going to have. Right now,
this could be the thing you might be able to charge $100, $200 for. Because you are doing something in front of a big crowd of people.
Right.
With some pretty expensive equipment.
We're paying anywhere from $120 to $150 to go out of state to race.
There you go. So you're in that price range. Well, we'll certainly see what happens. Any time frame? We only have a couple seconds.
No, the time frame is as soon as possible.
All right, John Cazzali and John Consoli, both with Long Island Needs a Drag Strip. We'll see if that turns out to be true. Thanks for stopping in.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Still ahead.